In die verste hoekie gaan druk Daan Retief die gelykmaker. En ons kaptein...
Dr. Danny Craven said that Daan played on the wing for Northern Transvaal. He was very strong and very fast. He then switched to forward. The big thing he remembers about Daan was his honesty. In 1955, South Africa were due to play the third test match in Pretoria against the British Lions. Daan had suffered an injury and he had to be tested to see if he had recovered. Butch Lochner was a reserve and would take his place if Daan couldn't play. No replacements were allowed in those days, remember. I took him out to the practice field in Pretoria and to my mind he did everything normally. I told him I was happy with what I'd seen, but he replied, "No, Doc, I'm just that 1 yard slower than I should be. I can't play, I would be doing the team an injustice." I said, "You do realise the test is at Loftus in front of your own crowd?" He replied, "Don't tell me, Doc. You know I am longing to play, but I must be honest, I am not up to scratch." And that is how Butch Lochner played in his first test match by virtue of Daan's honesty. Today one finds that some players go on the field knowing full well that they shouldn't be there. But Daan Retief was a different kettle of fish altogether. Honest as the day is long and a man of great integrity.
Die eerste toets teen die 63 Wallabies word gedruk deur 'n nuweling uit Natal, 'n student. Dis die debuut van 'n klein kantman, die begin van 'n groot loopbaan. Hy gaan in 25 toetse vir Suid-Afrika speel. Hy gaan ook sy land aanvoer. Hy gaan op baie tone trap, want hy is onverskrokke uitgesproke. Dit waarin hy glo, bær hy nie in sy hart nie, maar lê op die tong.
Tommy, met respek gesê, jy het nie die tradisionele bou van 'n voorspeler gehad in 'n Springbok trein nie. Het jy dit besef en moes jy jou spel eintlik op 'n manier kompenseer vir die Springbok stel voorspelers?
Wel, ek het gewonder of ek ooit in 'n Springbok patroon ingepas het, want die Springbokke van Tukas het daar sulke wedstryde gespeel. En ons in Natal was daarop ingestel om baie meer met die bal te hardloop, baie meer voordeel te wen met die bal, liewer om te skop en om 10-man rugby te speel. En ek dink baie van die Springbok spanne was daarop toegerig en is miskien nog so op 10-man spel. En toe ek eers vir Suid-Afrika gekies was my gewig 170 pond. Miskien bietjie minder, alhoewel die statistieke sê ek het 183 geweeg.
So jy het al gejokkel, hè?
Ja, maar wat kan so ouetjies soos ek nou gedoen het in 'n 10-man rugby speelpatroon?
Score of the match as Clarkson feeds Doug Hopwood, who puts in a clever run to dive over for a try. This won the wholehearted approval of the Twickenham crowd, which is noted for its sportsmanship. Oh, that's good show. On the other line, Doug Hopwood picks up dummies and goes over for an unconverted try.
Drie deur Doug Hopwood by die pale nadat Tommy Bedford en Nelly Smith hanteer het.
Getting the back into it, he'll do it. Good kick from Ben Youngs. There's a lot of pressure on him there. Two men coming through. Ashton through, but he's missed Vermeulen, and Vermeulen's going on there, beating two and showing great poise as well as his power.
Better scrum from Christiankamp. And it's a heel against the head. You're going to see quite a lot of that in the future, I think. Young Serpentine, Preez. Can he get it up to somebody? Farida Brill, wonderful pass. Beautiful players. Dwayne Foran.
Let it go, Black. It's on the side. Lost.
It's good work from Francois.
And Steyn cuts out Bismarck du Plessis for Dwayne Foran. Brilliant finish.
Well, look at the width here. It's the loopy pass from Mornay Steyn, which gets to Dwayne Foran. Outstanding break from the big loose forward.
Mr. Ireland. Mr. England. The finish with that rousing win over Scotland. With a bit of confidence to Preez in what games as well, that trial game. South Africa It's Francois Lowe this time, is it? Oh, he scored! Wales just seemed to stop. Preez again, sniping round the corner. Vermeulen is the man to dot down for the 5 points.
It was on this shaft at East Rand Proprietary Mines where he furthered his business career. A totally dedicated rugby player and arguably the finest Springbok to have graced our fields and those abroad. His outer facade of strength was well known, but perhaps his inner emotions were lesser known to the people of this country. After the Murrayfield triumph of 44-0, he left the field in tears, as he was very often to do after Springbok victories. He covered rugby fields with the speed of a whippet, and this in fact gave rise to his nickname. He was to be the man called Windhond. To say that Hinny Miller was one of the greatest Springboks in history hardly does justice to a player who towered over his contemporaries during a period when South African rugby's world supremacy was all but taken for granted. They called him Windhond, the whippet, and never was a nickname more apt.
Well, Hinny Miller and I played a lot of games together for the Transvaal, and we became very, very friendly. As a matter of fact, he's the one that shouted over the phone when we got the first test was announced through the radio. He gave me the indication that we were in the team before it actually came through. Hinny and I were very, very big mates. Rugby ability, he, in my opinion, looking right through the whole rugby from the times that I played, was possibly the greatest eight-man ever.
And Hansie Brevis supports this opinion on Hinny Miller.
And I have never played with any other loose forward with the caliber of Hinny Miller. Never.
Dr. Donnie Craven remembers his exceptional speed.
But when I became a selector, I had to look at him analytically and critically. And I saw how fast he was. Because, you know, at first the scrum half had to cover and to stop a wing if he got the overlap. And the scrum half was blamed if the wing scored. Then the number 8 took over from the scrum half. But no wing, no three-quarter could go through and feel safe because Hinny Miller would stop him.
He had a wonderful sense of anticipation, and he also had a smothered tackle by which he grabbed the chap round the waist and prevented him passing, which was very effective, which you don't see much of today.
South African rugby world was rocked by the death of the legendary Hinny Miller. In action here in the first test match, South Africa versus the Wallabies in 1953. Miller, nummer 1, drukke 3. Miller captained the 1951-52 tour of Great Britain. Hier is hy in actie as nummer 30. Miller leads his team onto the field against England. Die staatmaker van die Springbokspan, drukke 3. Miller was hailed as a hero in rugby circles, especially after the Springboks' famous 44-0 victory over Scotland at Murrayfield, a tribute to one of South Africa's greatest sportsmen.